You stop getting talked over in conversations. You walk into conversations dressed in presence, yet somehow your voice gets tailored out, quietly altered, like a suit that almost fits. You are not being ignored, you're being styled over, and that subtle social tailoring has rules no one says out loud. You fix this, and suddenly, interruptions feel embarrassed to exist. The shift isn't louder, it's sharper, cleaner, almost unfair. Welcome to Dryfinity, where we give straight-shooting advice on attraction, style, and living well as a man. You notice it, the moment your sentence gets trimmed before it lands. Not because your idea lacks value, but because your delivery quietly gave permission. Interruption is not about volume. It's about perceived authority signals, and most of them happen before your point even begins. Here's the part most men never consider. Within the first 3 seconds of you speaking, people decide whether you can be interrupted, not consciously, automatically. Your tone, your pace, even your first word placement, they're being judged in real time. And right now, without realizing it, you might be signaling, "Pause me." What makes this frustrating is how subtle it is. You can be intelligent, experienced, even respected, and still get talked over because of small, almost invisible habits. A rushed start, a softened tone, a sentence that feels negotiable instead of complete. But here's where it shifts. Change a few behaviors slightly, and people begin to rank your voice differently. Not louder, not aggressive, just harder to interrupt. By the end of this, interruptions won't just reduce, they'll start to feel socially uncomfortable for anyone who tries. Point 1. Service workers treat you differently. Most men get this wrong in the smallest moments. You step into a simple interaction and soften everything. Extra words, rushed tone, a smile that asks for approval. It feels polite, but it quietly lowers your presence. The result is predictable. You get managed. People jump in, finish your sentence, or redirect you before you land your point. What to do instead? Slow your speech slightly. Use fewer words, but complete sentences. Hold eye contact just a fraction longer than feels natural. Now notice the shift. "I'll have a latte." Clean. Finished. No opening for interruption. Compare that to, "Yeah, I think I'll just get." One invites guidance, the other commands clarity. People mirror what they perceive. When your delivery feels settled, they stop rushing you. And this is where it starts. Interruptions begin disappearing in low-stakes moments first, but when the stakes rise, this same shift does something far more powerful. Point 2. You get pulled into solutions, not managed around problems. Most men lose control of conversations before they even realize it. You present an issue, but it comes out layered with hesitation. Extra explanations, soft disclaimers, a tone that sounds like it's asking for permission. It feels thoughtful, but it signals something else entirely. It signals, "Handle me." So people do exactly that. They step in, redirect, summarize for you, or worse, talk over you to speed things up. Not because they're more capable, but because your delivery made the situation feel open-ended. What to do instead? You structure your thoughts. Simple. Problem, implication, direction. No detours, no emotional leakage, no unnecessary apologies. And most importantly, you end your sentences like they're complete. No upward tone that turns your statement into a question. Now watch the difference. In a meeting, one man says, "I'm not sure if this makes sense, but maybe we could try adjusting." He gets interrupted halfway. Another man says, "This approach is slowing us down. If we adjust here, we fix it faster." Same room, same idea. Only one gets heard fully. Clarity creates authority faster than volume ever will. People don't wait for the loudest voice. They wait for the clearest one. And when your words feel structured, people instinctively pause. Not out of politeness, but because interrupting you suddenly feels like breaking something that's already complete. That's when the shift becomes obvious. People start waiting for you to finish. But the next change is even more subtle, and it happens without you saying a word. Point 3. Your resting face improves without smiling more. Most men try to fix this the wrong way. You keep your face active, smiling quickly, reacting fast, showing you're engaged. It feels friendly, but it creates something else underneath. Nervous energy. Your face starts to move ahead of your words, and people read that as uncertainty. And uncertainty invites interruption. What to do instead? You relax the tension, especially around your eyes and jaw. You let your face settle into a neutral, composed expression. Not cold, not distant, just steady. and you let your expressions follow your words, not lead them. Now watch what changes. In a tense conversation, one man reacts to every shift, eyebrows lifting, quick nods, small forced smiles. Another man stays composed, listening fully, speaking without unnecessary movement. Same words, completely different impact. One feels interruptible, the other feels finished. There's a reason for this. People associate calm facial control with stability. In leadership settings, a steady face is often read as confidence and clarity, while excessive reaction is read as uncertainty, even when the words are correct. So people adjust. They hesitate before cutting in, not because they're afraid, but because interrupting you starts to feel slightly out of place, like stepping in too early, and that's when you notice it. Conversations begin to slow around you. Not awkwardly, intentionally. But here's where it gets interesting, because the next shift doesn't just change how people hear you, it changes how they see you. When you step back, a pattern starts to form. This isn't about isolated tricks, it's one concept showing up in different ways. Controlled presence. The way you speak, the way you pause, the way your face holds steady, they all send one message. And here's the important part. It's not dominance. It's not force. It's clarity and composure working together. You're not trying to overpower the room. You're removing the signals that make you easy to interrupt in the first place. Because people don't interrupt confidence. They interrupt uncertainty. Not loudly, quietly, automatically. And once that uncertainty disappears, something shifts without effort. People begin adjusting themselves around you. They wait a fraction longer. They listen a little more carefully. They think twice before stepping in. But there's one signal most men completely overlook. It doesn't come from what you say. It doesn't even come from how you look at people. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Before we move on, write this in the comments. Clear and steady. Not as a task, but as a signal that you noticed what most people miss in conversations. It's a simple way to show you're paying attention to the small shifts that change how you're heard, without needing to say anything more. Bonus point. Strangers guess your age 10 to 15 years younger. Most men don't realize this, but what ages you in conversations is not time. It's tension. You rush your words, react too quickly, and carry subtle facial stress without noticing. And over time, that energy does more damage to how people read you than anything physical ever could. What to do instead? You slow everything down slightly. Your speech, your movement, even your reactions. You let your voice, your face, and your body all carry the same message. Calm control. Nothing exaggerated, nothing forced. Now here's what happens. Two men can stand in the same room, same age, same background. One is constantly adjusting, filling space, reacting fast. The other moves and speaks like nothing is urgent. Same environment, completely different perception. People don't even explain it clearly. They just say you seem younger or more refreshed. But what they're really reacting to is reduced tension. Experience shows up as calm, not effort. You don't look younger, you simply feel harder to rush. And that feeling changes how people respond to you instantly. Now, if you've stayed through this far, that means you're not just watching, you're actually paying attention to the details most people miss. That's what separates passive viewing from real understanding, and it matters more than it looks. We appreciate you for that. Recap. Number 1. Service workers treat you differently when your tone slows, your words become complete, and your presence feels settled instead of rushed. Number 2. You get pulled into solutions when your thoughts are structured, your speech is clean, and your sentences feel finished, not open-ended. Number 3. Your resting face improves when you reduce unnecessary reaction and let calm expression lead your presence instead of emotion. Bonus, you appear younger because reduced tension signals control, stability, and experience, not effort or urgency. All of this connects to one idea: subtle control, not force. You're not trying to dominate conversations. You're removing the small signals that make you easy to interrupt. Like the video to support our growth and help it reach more people who need this message. Subscribe for daily insights on presence, communication, and self-improvement. Share it with someone who keeps getting talked over in conversations. Thank you for watching and staying till the end. A recommended video is on your screen right now. We'll see you back soon.